Kwara State government is strengthening its relations with farmers in the state in order to boost food production and ensure food security. At a meeting with farmers in Ilorin, the government gave the assurance that more opportunities would be identified to make farming attractive.
This is perhaps one of the closest ways the government and the farmers have agreed to keep in touch in order to be of mutual benefit. This meeting is convened at the instance of the Kwara State government for both groups to take stock on assistance so far rendered. The President of the Senate, the Governor of the state and the CBN Governor are all part of this exercise that farmers get the best.
The potentials are huge, but the most important one here is how to put together a program which already is ongoing under our off-taker demand-driven agri scheme, which is going to invest in production of maize and soya, primarily to support the poultry business, because the potentials for poultry business is huge. We can see the production of broilers here. We have other locations where we are going into egg production.
And from here, they move to Shonga Farms to inspect the activities of the farm owners. It's a joint business between the state government and the farm. The CBN governor takes interest. He says 2 billion naira commercial agricultural credits will be invested by the government to support the scheme.
This is a typical example of a foreign direct investor who has come from his country and decided to come into a local government. He did not settle in Lagos. He did not settle in Abuja. He came right into the village to come and create employment for our people. And the Committee of Governors had decided to supplement the investment of these foreign direct investors with a loan of about 2 billion naira for the commercial agricultural credit scheme. And it's going to be at a maximum pricing of 9%.
This farm was established by Dr. Bukola Saraki when he served as a governor 10 years ago.
When I came here, I went to start, I think it was doing like 4,000 beds a day, and today they're doing over 20-something thousand. More people are being employed, more jobs here, and we've seen agriculture from the vision we had that it is possible to provide living for our people. We've seen the farm, we've seen the hatchery, we've seen this.
With agri projects such as this scattered around the country, there is no doubt that the federal government's target of self-sustenance by 2018 will become achievable. But of course, there is need for much attention to such projects.
Let's take a look at some sports now. Here's Charles Eruka.
Welcome to Sports News. Super Eagles technical advisor Gernot Rohr has called up 25 players for the planned camping program in France and the international friendly match against the Corsican senior national team later this month. Invited players include England-based stars Alex Iwobi, Kelechi Iheanacho, Ahmed Musa, Wilfred Ndidi and Isaac Success. Home-based quartet Al-Hassan Ibrahim, Sikiru Olatubosun, Stephen Ode and Ikechukwu Ezenwa were also invited, while Elderson Echejile, John Ogu, Leon Balogun, William Trust Ekong, Chidozie Awaziem, Olanrewaju Kayode and Tyrone Obwehi also make up the list. The three-time African champions will open camp in Corsica on May the 24th and then play against the Corsican senior team 2 days later. The match precedes the camping program ahead of the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against South Africa's Bafana Bafana. In club football, Chelsea moved to within one win of the Premier League title and confirmed Middlesbrough's relegation with a consummate performance and emphatic 3-0 victory at Stamford Bridge. Goals from Diego Costa, Marcos Alonso and Nemanja Matic gave the Blues a comfortable victory. Antonio Conte's side can become champions with victory against West Bromwich Albion at the Hawthorns on Friday night, while Middlesbrough must contemplate a future back in the Championship after they were swept aside. Meanwhile, Chelsea's N'Golo Kante has been voted Footballer of the Year by the English Football Writers Association. The Chelsea midfielder polled the most votes among the 340-strong membership, beating teammate Eden Hazard and third-placed Dele Alli to the award. Kante is the 5th player in 6 seasons to complete the awards double, having last month been named Player of the Year by the Professional Footballers Association. That's it on Sports News. It's back to Ijoma with the rest of the news at 10.
Thanks a lot, Charles. The United Nations says at least 1 million children have fled fighting in South Sudan and many more have been displaced within the country. The world body has described the country's refugee crisis as the most worrying in the world. Children are said to make up at least 62% of the nearly 2 million people who have fled to neighboring countries since the war started. They have become the most vulnerable through trauma, fear, stress and physical upheaval. And France's President-elect Emmanuel Macron faces a tough task of putting together a team that will help him govern effectively. His party has announced a change of name from En Marche to La République En Marche, known as Republic on the Move in English. A day after the victory at the polls, the 39-year-old joined outgoing President François Hollande to lay a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. He becomes the country's youngest leader since Napoleon Bonaparte, whose battles are commemorated at the Arc de Triomphe. And the main news again. President Muhammadu Buhari today said he's confident that the government will continue to run smoothly even in his absence. The president, who shared his optimism in a tweet, said he's left authority in very capable hands. Also today, Kaduna State witnessed another round of violence, leaving 3 people killed during clashes between rival youth groups. And the United Nations Refugee Agency reported today that 1 million children have fled South Sudan as a result of escalating conflict in Africa's newest nation. Well, that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Hunyato. Do have a good night.